My name is Honorable Marilyn Okowadaramola. I represent the wonderful people of the Kano State constituency. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I wish to present a report of the Finance and Appropriation Committee on the Delta State Government Fiscal Strategy Paper 2024 to 2026, Fiscal Framework and Budget Policy Statement. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, you will recall that His Excellency, the Governor of Delta State, Right Honorable Edda Sheriff Francis Oborewori, presented the 2024 to 2026 Fiscal Strategy Paper through a letter read by the Right Honorable Speaker at the House sitting of Wednesday, 20th September 2023. Accordingly, the document was received for consideration and consequently referred to the Committee on Finance and Appropriation for further examination. The Fiscal Strategy Paper 2024 to 2026 was submitted in compliance with Section 16 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as altered, and Sections 13, 14, and 15 of the Delta State Fiscal Responsibility Law 2008 as amended. The submission of the FSP also conforms to international best practices. The FSP is a medium-term policy document that provides insight into macroeconomic framework and assumptions adopted and applicable for planning and preparing a 3-year budget structure, showing aggregates of estimated revenue and expenditure ceilings, information on government fiscal targets, and allocation of resources to strategic fiscal targets for the next 3 financial years. The state government FSP 2024 to 2026 will help in determining the aggregate resources available to fund government projects and programs from a fiscally sustainable perspective. Mr. Speaker, after a critical examination of the document, the committee wishes to place before the House its findings and observations as follows. 1. The Economic and Fiscal Update provides an economic fiscal analysis which forms the basis for the fiscal forecast, budget planning, and budget preparation process. It also provides an assessment of budget performance and identifies significant factors affecting budget implementation. 2. Another component of the Fiscal Strategy Paper is the Budget Policy Statement. This defines the allocation of aggregate resource revenue envelope into indicative sector expenditure ceilings that forms part of government policy priorities over a 3-year financial period. By implication, the annual budget for 2024 fiscal year derived from the FSP for 2024 to 2026 will aim at achieving the more agenda of the current administration, accelerate economic growth, promote social inclusion, and strengthen the resilience of the economy. 3. In preparing the 3-year indicative fiscal framework, the state government, through the Ministry of Economic Planning, working in collaboration with the Ministry of Finance, Office of the Accountant General, and the State Internal Revenue Service, adopted and applied its own value-based forecast of actual receipts from January to June 2023. Some of the macroeconomic framework and assumptions used include the national inflation rate at 24% in 2024, 20% and 18% in 2025 and 2026 respectively. Gross domestic product at 3.60% in 2024, 4.30% and 5.30% in 2025 and 2026 respectively. Exchange rate is assumed to be 750 naira per dollar all through the next 3 financial years. Number 4. The application of assumptions on the state's own value-based revised receipts from January to June 2023 will create the resultant fiscal targets and expenditure ceilings for for the next 3 financial years are summarized in the 2 paragraphs below. First, estimates of aggregate revenue in the next 3 financial years will be 674 billion, 26,189,375 naira for 2024 fiscal year, 684 billion, 291,631,803 naira for 2025, and 701 billion, 117,461,794 naira for 2026. Also, aggregate projections for capital receipts are 40 billion, 388,124,492 naira for 2024 fiscal year, 40 billion, 332,124,429 naira for 2025 and 2026 fiscal years respectively. The estimate of aggregate recurrent and capital expenditure in the next 3 financial years will be 714 billion, 414,313,867 naira for 2024 fiscal year, and 724 billion, 623,756,295 naira and 741 billion, 449,586,286 naira for 2025 and 2026 fiscal years respectively. 5. The 2024 to 2026 FSP provides historical information on revenue and expenditure trends. It looks at statutory allocation, including net derivation, VAT, IGR, excess code, and capital receipts budget versus actual for the period 2017 to 2023. It is indicated to state that statutory allocations performed relatively well in 2018, recording 131.8%, 100% in 2021 fiscal year, and a growth of 85.75% as at the end of 2022. Delta State performed well above 100% in VAT collections all through 2017 to 2022, while IGR performance rose significantly in the period under review, particularly recording a performance of 133% and 101% in 2021 and 2022 fiscal years. 6. Expenditure analysis revealed that actual personal cost performance has been stable from 2017 through to 2022 fiscal year. Personnel costs in 2022 showed a performance of 100%. Over the period, the government has made concerted efforts to drop actual overhead expenditure so as to make way for capital development. Except for 2017 fiscal year, where capital expenditure performance dropped to a low ratio of 31.27%, performance grew astronomically to 102.9% in 2018 fiscal year. Notably, capital expenditure performance has continued to be on the rise. 7. The outlook on public debt revealed a very good solvency sustainability position. As at 35 December 2022, the state total domestic debt to total recurrent revenue ratio, with a threshold of 50%, stood at 6.24%. With a threshold of 100%, the ratio of total public debt to total revenue ratio was 41.99%. Creditably, the state government is not hoping to negotiate any debt stop in the next 3-year financial period. 8. As part of its budget policy trust, the Fiscal Strategy Paper 2024 to 2026 revealed this administration's desire to facilitate several important outcomes, especially the construction of roads and other fiscal infrastructure. continuous implementation and establishment of new technical colleges, strengthening agriculture and agribusiness programs, creation of safe and secure environment for investment, increasing access to key public services such as healthcare and ICT-based education, take advantage of potentials in the entertainment industry, tourism, commerce and industry, expansion of food export initiatives, strengthening micro and small-scale enterprise, social security programs for widows, girl child, persons with disability, and other vulnerable groups in the society, amongst others. 9. Also, the FSP explained the administration's willingness to entrench good governance. Its focus is to strengthen government institutions, processes and systems, especially in areas of public financial management, policy and strategy, public sector management, as well as monitoring and evaluation. 10. On the whole, the overriding policy thrust of government is to continue the forward movement of sustainable development in the state. Its principal goal is to use available resources to develop the non-oil sector of the state economy, to reduce its high dependence on crude oil and gas receipts, use the more agenda to develop growth strategies, initiate fiscal adjustment strategy, create models for efficient utilization of all resources accruable to it, undertake the maximization of private sector investments and public spending, engage in human capital development and other effective collaboration. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, while commending the state government on the steadfastness of these operations, the robustness of its fiscal policy, identifying course of action, and the allocation of revenue resources to achieve its medium-term financial objectives in compliance with the International Public Sector Accounting Standards (IPSAS), the committee wishes to make the following recommendations. 1. Government should endeavor to sustain its public finance management reforms programs, particularly as it relates to the implementation of IPSAS, enhance its fiscal targets, particularly IGR, and engage in effective monitoring and evaluation of projects and programs. 2. Government should continue to monitor changes in the federal government macroeconomic framework. This is to ensure that its estimates are consistent with latest developments globally and within the federal government budget framework. 3. Subsequent NTEP should not only provide detailed information on aggregate tax expenditure projection and minimum capital expenditure for the state for each year in the next 3 financial years, but also a statement describing the nature and fiscal significance of contingent liabilities and quasi-fiscal activities and measures to offset the crystallization of such liabilities, and an explanation of how the financial objectives, strategic, economic, social, and developmental priorities and fiscal measures set out in Section 13, subsection 3, paragraph B, subparagraphs 1 and 2 and 3 of the Fiscal Responsibility Law 2008 as amended, relating to the economic objectives set out in Section 16 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as altered. 4. Components of subsequent medium-term expenditure frameworks, especially the medium-term budget framework and the medium-term sector strategy, should be provided. 5. This committee is seeking the approval of the Delta State Fiscal Strategy Paper 2024 to 2026 as presented. Conclusion. After a thorough examination of the Delta State Fiscal Strategy Paper 2024 to 2026, the committee concluded as follows. That 1. The document complies substantially with the requirements of the Fiscal Responsibility Law 2008 as amended. 2. The document highlights the medium-term financial objectives and fiscal policy of the state government over the next 3 financial years. 3. policy. 4. This document provides a solid foundation for the planning and preparation of the 2024 annual budget of the state. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I wish to, on behalf of the committee, express a profound gratitude for the privilege to serve and present the report for approval of the House. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Please lay your reports.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Okowa Daramola Marilyn Dunkelechukwu, Chairman. Honorable Sir Engineer Emmanuel Amatari Sinigi, Deputy Chairman. Honorable Ebitomo Anthony Alakpala, Member. Honorable Emetulu Charles Chukwuemeke, Member. Honorable Umukoro Awolowo Perkins, Member. Honorable Egbetama Ovie Collins, Member. Honorable Amuzia Isaac Ozo, Member. And Alex Toyojo, Committee Clerk.
Chairman, another time when the committee member is absent in your meeting, you don't need to call him because especially he has not signed.
Noted, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader, move motion to receive and approve of the House Committee on Finance and Operation and give all of us for ensuring that this Honorable House approve the Delta State Fiscal Strategy Paper FSP 2024-2026 today. You will recall that in the course of the ongoing retreat, we have diligently scrutinized the Delta State Fiscal Strategy Paper 2024-2026. Therefore, we cannot agree less with the report of the committee. The approval of the FFC will enable the Governor of Delta State, the Right Honorable Sheriff Francis Rubedo Borobori, present the year 2024 budget in conformity with extant law. Once again, thank you and God bless.